Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zheng Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the good practice tonight, of the western realm of utmost bliss Sukhavati, the chief Amitabha Tathagata. Simo Tanzen Katso Dutan City. All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, everyone. How do you do?
Hola amigo, que quiero mucho. Sukoin, ichiba, kimochi, Jumi, yapi, prin prin, konbanwa.
This evening, we had the group practice of Amitabha Tathagata. And this deity is also Grandmaster Lu's Yidam, or meditational deity, or the original ground. Like Guru Padmasambhava is also an emanation of Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha emanated countless times. There are countless emanations of Amitabha Buddha. What we often recite, Namo 36,119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha Buddha.
Om Amitabha Se.
Om Amitabha Se.
Namo 36,000,000
Namo 36,119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha. They are all called Amitabha Buddha. And look how large the number is. Actually, this number I got from not the sutra, but the book called Naga or Dragon. Long. Not Su tree, but Su comfort. So comfort. Na dragon comfort. Pure Land. Text. And I read that text, and in one of the articles, it was written about the Namo 36,119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha. When I saw that, I was extremely joyful, very delighted. Because there was an old lady who made a vow, and she prepared a barrel of grains of rice. And when she chanted Namo Amitabha, she would take a grain of rice out of the barrel. She promised to chant Amitabha as many as the grains of rice in the barrel. And she chanted every day until one day, she's very old already and very sick. It's almost dying. And yet she found there was still lots of rice in the barrel. So she could not keep her promise, because she wanted to chant until the rice were all taken out from the barrel. And she was about to die, so she felt really sad. So Amitabha Buddha appeared and told her, just chant this sentence, this phrase, Namo 36,119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha. And then you can just pour out all the grains of rice with just this one phrase. And she did. And then she took out all the rice from the barrel, and then she died and went to the Pure Land. And when I read that, I thought, wow, this is great. This is a wonderful article. So I used that number and then let all true Buddha disciples use it. So by chanting this, instantly, same name and identification of Amitabha, 36 trillions. Just imagine how many they are. That's astronomical number.
这是我是从龙树净土文里面找出来的。
So this is what I got from the 龙树 Pure Land text.
这句这个师尊怎么会找出来这句这样？
So many people ask me how I found this number. And because I read that Pure Land text.
刚开始的时候，真的是就是在佛教联社皈依，我是在佛教联社第一
At
次皈依。
first, I took the first refuge that I took in Buddhism was at the Buddhist Lotus Society at the Mingseng Road.
由李炳南这个老师这个做皈依。
And the refuge was by the laity Li Bingnan.
那时候很有名的一个居士叫李炳南。
He was a very famous lay Buddhist then. and his name was Li Bingnan. And the center that he gave Sutra exposition was the Tai Chi Memorial Hall inside the hospital behind our survey bureau. And he was expounding the Da Si Yuan Tong Zhang. When I was 26, so from the 5802 team, and we can walk there. There was a hospital, and inside it there is the Tai Si Memorial Hall, and I went there to listen to the Sutra exposition. And that's when I took refuge in the Buddhist gate. And at that time, I learned the Pure Land sect, and primarily I chant Amitabha Buddha. So Amitabha Buddha is my yidam, and that's the causes and condition. Let me share a few jokes. Last month, my wife got a dog, and other than teaching a few tricks, my wife loved to let the dog sniff bills, money bills. So I asked my wife, so are you asking the dog to find money outside? And the wife was just smirking and didn't say anything. And a few days later, all my personal savings, or like the money that I hide inside the house, were all gone. That's funny, huh?
这个秘鲁加冰块等于3缸，威士忌加冰块也等于3缸。
A whiskey plus ice cube would hurt the liver. Hennessy plus ice cubes will hurt the liver. And then beer plus ice cube will also hurt the liver. So the conclusion is the ice cubes is too scary. The ice cubes are too scary.
你知道汉朝的美人跟唐朝的美人有什么
So what's the difference between the beauties during the Han Dynasty and the beauties of the Tang Dynasty?
骑上的马
The beauties of the Han Dynasty,
马不知啊
riding on a horse, the horse will not be aware of
马
her.
不知道已经有美女骑上她的背上
So the horse wouldn't even feel there
唐朝的美人啊
is a lady
马
on
也是不知
its back. But when the beauty of Tang Dynasty, this is play word of Chinese, gets on a horse, the horse cannot stand it.
所以审美观点是不一样的。审美观点是确实
So the standards of beauty changes.
唐朝的美女是比较 fat
The beauty of the Han Dynasty is skinny, but the beauty of the Tang Dynasty are voluptuous, fat.
这2个男生在对话
There are two men having a dialogue.
甲对乙讲，这个病毒啊，
And A
我们这个
told
新
B
冠病毒
the
是我
pandemic,
遇到最棒
the
的东西。
coronavirus is the best thing
这
that
很
can
奇怪，
happen to me.
没
Isn't
有
that
人喜
strange?
欢病毒，
Nobody
哪个人喜
likes
欢病毒？什么原因呢？
coronavirus, but
他
this
讲，
man does
从此啊，太太就没有出
because
去旅行，
my wife
然
doesn't
后不
want to
去购
travel,
物，
no shopping,
也不去外面吃晚餐，
no
整天
outside
啊
dinner,
嘴巴都戴着口罩，不会再唠叨了。
and she spent all day and night with her mouth covered
这个病毒啊，真的是我的救星啊！
and never nagging again. So the virus is my salvation.
病毒也是很好，你看还有人讲病毒好，这世界上哦，也不是完全绝
So
对。
there's some people that say that the
这
coronavirus
个
was
老
good.
公呢，头有些不舒服，
So it's not
老
absolute.
婆就帮他按摩按摩。
So the
老婆亲身细语地
husband is having a headache
告诉
and the
我，
wife is massaging
结
him,
婚以前随
and
便
the wife
按
was
摩这个头啊，
speaking
老
gently.
公做出一
So
个简单
before
而
marriage,
且发
who's giving you
会
massage on
不
your
敷
head?
衍的。
And
结婚以
the
前
husband
我从来
replied
没有头痛
honestly,
过。
I never had a headache before marriage.
那我们进入主题。
Now we'll get on the main topic.
台湾的莲花玉泉问的。
Question from 莲花玉泉
根本上师
from
莲生法
Taiwan.
弟子有以下的问题想请教。
Homage to the Dharma King,
一，
Lian
请
Song.
问卢师尊，
I have a few questions.
保
First,
平气静气时，
in the
应该
Treasuries
观想
Energy
气
Yoga
是
practice,
蓝色
what
还
color
是
is the
白
qi
色？
during inhalation? Is it
是
blue
蓝
or
色还
white?
是白色的呢？二，如
Two,
果修持保平气，身中因此产生气
we
结，
encounter
应该
a
怎么办？
knot of qi during our
顶礼
practice.
圣尊，
What should we
感
do?
谢圣卢师
Homage
尊慈
to
悲的回答。
Grandmaster, thank you for your compassionate
这两个
answer.
问题应该是比较 easy。
These two questions should be easy.
我以前是这样子讲的，
In the past, I said,
气在外面，你
when the
观想
qi is
白色，
outside, you visualize it to be white.
气进到里面，
When qi enters
你
into
观
your
想
body,
红色的。
you visualize it to be red.
这气出来的时候，
When the qi
你观
exits
想
from your body, you
黑色。
visualize it to be black.
但是九节佛风啊，九
That's
节
the
佛
nine
风
cycle Buddha
是
breathing.
吸白吐黑，
So you inhale the
吸
white
进
and
去是
exhale
白
the
色的，
black.
吐出来是黑色的。
So you
这
inhale
表
the
示呢，
white and
你
exhale the
吸
black.
进去的气
And this means
把
that
你
the
身
qi
体的
that you
业障
inhale
就全部带走了。
will bring out all the karma from your body.
就是说，你在做九节佛风的时候啊，
So when you
因为
perform
你
the
在
nine cycle Buddha breathing,
study，也就是 study 精神集中，
you study
你专
or
一的，
train
你
in
观想那个气是
concentration.
白色的，
So you
吸进
focus
来，
in
到
your
了身体里面就
visualization
变
that
成
the
红
qi
色，
is white,
在身体里面
and as
转
you
一转，
breathe in
又呼出
inside your
去，
body, it becomes red,
就变成
and
黑
it
色的，
circulates inside your body, and when you
也就是
exhale,
把
it
你
becomes
身体的
black.
业障也一起带
which means it would that you would exhale the karma along with it. So inhale the white and exhale the black. That's 9 cycle Buddha breathing. And he's asking about the treasure vase energy. So is it blue or white during inhalation? When you inhale, it has to be fine, slow, and long. And the same thing when you exhale, it should be fine, slow, and long. And because the treasure vase energy is a very fierce one, so the first breath maybe it's very rush.
你要观想气是蓝色的呢，还是白色的呢？我觉得以前师父教的，
So he asked, is it white or blue?
都是白色的。
And my guru taught me that whatever you breathe in should all be white. And whatever you breathe out, they all should be black. You should visualize this way. And inside your body, it's red.
就白、红、黑。
So white, red, and black.
白、红、蓝也可以。
Or white, red, and blue.
黑哦。
Black or blue.
蓝与黑有这本书叫《蓝与黑》嘛。
There's a book that's called Blue and Black. Blue and black are the same in Tantrayana.
快接近黑色。吐气的时候，
Dark blue is close to black.
在里面红的。
So you exhale the black, inhale the white, and inside is red. And in Tantrayana, white symbolizes the white body, and red symbolizes the red body, and the blue represents qi, or vital energy.
所以观想这个吸进来的时候啊，
So when you inhale, it should be white.
如果修持保平气，身中
When we practice treasure vase energy yoga, and we have some knots of qi, what should we do? Then you should practice the Vajra fist exercise to open up the knots.
气节，经常有气节的现象，
Qi
好
knots
像你这个
often
气啊，印在
occur
眉心，观想眉心的
like
时
when
候，
you visualize
气
your
全部
brow
涌到这个
point,
眉心来了，
and then all the qi would gather at the brow
凝
point.
固起来的气一直
And
在
over
这里，
here, there's a congealed qi that always stay there, always stays
拍
there,
打的方法，
and it cannot disperse. And what do you do? And then so you tap on it
哦，让它散，让它
so
散，
that it would
让它散
disperse.
掉。啊，拳法，金刚拳
Or
法，
the
就
fist
是在打开
exercise.
那个气。
The Vajra fist exercise is to open the qi
气有
knots.
时候会结在上丹田、
Sometimes the qi would
中丹田、下丹
form a knot at the upper dantian or middle
这个中
dantian
丹
or
田
lower
在心
dantian.
轮，
The middle
下丹
dantian
田
is
在
at the
气
heart
轮以
chakra.
下，
The lower dantian is at the
上丹田在眉心轮。
below the
有时候
navel
气节
chakra,
是
and
在
the upper dantian is at the
这个
brow
肩膀，
chakra.
在
And
肩膀上面，
sometimes the chi knots are
有时
on
候
the
在喉咙，
shoulders,
气节在喉
sometimes
咙。
on the throat
那
or
个时候
inside
就
the
是要
throat.
用金刚拳法，
And you
去把它
have
解
to use the Vajra fist exercises
当然，有时候我们
to
练金刚拳有梳头，
alleviate it.
梳头
And in Vajra fist exercise, this is combing the
就
head
是梳头，
or the hair.
就把气
This is how you do it.
把它梳掉啊，把
And
气把它梳
you
头，
disperse the qi.
气结在脖子，我
If
们
the
用手
qi is nodding in the throat, then we turn our head
让这个上行气可以到
so the
进
upper
到
qi
跟下行气能够合一。
can combine with the lower body qi by turning the head.
气结在这个肩膀上，是可以
And
用
if
这
the
个方
qi
法。
knots is on the shoulders, then you can use this.
有点像做体操这样子啦，有点像
It's
做
like
体操。打
the
太极也是
exercise.
差不多是这样子。
Or Tai Chi Chuan is similar too.
气结在这个
And if the
关
qi
节的地
knots
方，
is on the joints,
有时候在手指头
sometimes on the fingertips,
啊，在手指头不能弯曲啊，
and then
手
you
指头没有
cannot
办法弯曲。 这个叫
cannot
做什
form
么
a
手？
fist.
扳机手，
I think it's called frozen
手。
fingers.
就是你手指头没有办法弯曲，
So you cannot
但是要
bend
反关
your
节
fingers.
这样子的方法。
Then you need to turn the other
它
way
弯不下来啊，
or
弯不下
pull
来
it
怎么
the
办
other
呢？
way.
也叫反关节。
So if you
通常
cannot
这样子按，
bend your fingers, then
有
you
时候
push it
这个打
backward
电
like
脑
this.
打的太多了，
So if you type
这个
on
有时
the
候在这个
computer
关
too
节上
much,
出问题，
then you
有时
have
候在
problems on your
指
wrist
头上面出问题，
or on your fingers.
都有的。有的
All
在这
this
个
happens.
关节的地方出问题，
And sometimes
那
on
个就
these
是
other
气结的现象。
joints. So this is the
气不
symptoms
通
of
啊，
qi knots
血
or
不通
knots
啊。
of the qi. So the
好像
qi
那
and blood
个
circulations
孔梁油呢，
is blocked.
那个
Kong Liang Yu,
一般来讲，气血不通，
Generally
你用针
speaking
灸的是吧？
when the qi and blood circulation is poor, you use acupuncture.
所以，好，谢谢。
Thank you.
那就是中医讲的气血不通嘛，就是气
So
血
that's
气
according to
结在
TCM,
那里，
traditional
它走
Chinese
不过去，
medicine.
那个气走不过去，
So
血
the
走不过
qi is
去，
blocked.
你
It
就没有
cannot
办法
move.
手指头弯曲，
So
就
you
变成扳
cannot
机手。
bend your fingers anymore, so you have frozen fingers.
那个连传上师啊，
And
他
Master
对
Lian
这方面是
Chuan
非常有经验。
is extremely experienced
他
in
好
this
像什么
area.
毛病都患过。
It seems like she's
而且
suffered
一
from
讲
all
什么
kinds
他都
of
懂，
ailments.
怎么样子做，
And
怎么样子做，他都
Whatever
懂。
we say,
腰
she
痛，
knows how to do, what to do.
腰痛也是气结的
Like
一种
also。back pain is
腰
also
痛
a
也是
kind
气
of
结，
qi knots
所以你
or
必须
knots
要
of
扭，
the
要拉
vital
筋，
energy.
把腰
So
这
you
边的
need to
筋拉
twist
开，
and stretch,
让它的气
stretch
血
the
能够通。
tendons in that area
就是
so
这个
that
道
the
理。
qi and blood can circulate.
所以
That's
气
the
结
concept.
你要练金刚拳，
So
练金刚拳，
for
或者打太极
qi
拳，
knots,
太
you
极
need
拳也是
to
可以。
perform Vajrafist exercise or
关于
Tai
那
Chi
个
Chuan.
我们有一本书叫《
Martial
春雷
arts.
瑜伽》嘛，
We have a book that's called the Chunlei Yoga or the Spring Thunder Yoga. That's also a Vajrafist exercise.
有时候
That's
我
using
我那时候
active
我在我的
movements.
family doctor 那里讲，我
When
腰
I
痛，
was at my family doctor,
family doctor
I had
说
the back
给我
pain,
拿几个那个拿一本书
and
给
the
我，
doctor
你
gave me
回
a
去按
book.
照这个练。
I just practice according to this.
然后我回去看了这些东西，就是
So
教你怎么运动，
After
可以
I
把这个
read
腰
it, how to
腰痛可以解
exercise
除。
to alleviate my back
那
pain.
到最后连传上师他教我几个动作，
And then
他说
Master
你就
Lian
要
Chuan
怎
taught
么
me
样
a
子，
few
两只脚
exercises.
啊，这样子，
2
转这
feet
边，
like this
转
and
这
turn
边，
this way,
就
turn this
脚
way.
收起来，
You
啊，这
pull
样子
in
转
your
过来，这
knees
样
and
转
then
过
you
去，这样转过来，啊，游泳的姿态，
twist this way, that way.
啊，两只脚这样子游，
And the 2
好，然后
feet,
再转回来，
the 2
再
legs
转
like
这样，
swimming
然后单脚，
this
这
way
脚
and
是弯
the
曲，
other
这一
way.
脚转，
And then one
然后再
leg
转回来，
and turn the
啊
other，way.
这一脚转，
And then this
然后
one
再转回来，
and then turn back.
啊，然后按照瑜伽的动作，
And
你
then
这个
some
两只
yoga
脚向上
posture
踩车轮，
and like you're riding on a
重点还是
bicycle
在
in the
两只
air.
脚， 这样转，
So
就是
on
扭
two
腰的动
legs.
作。
So
但是
when
呢，
you
腰不能
twist,
动，也就
but the
是
back
上
cannot
半身
move.
不能动，只是
The
动你
upper
的脚
body
而已，
stays, you just
让它
move
转
the
过来，翻
legs.
过来，就已经在拉筋了。
That's
翻过去
already
也是在拉筋。
stretching. That's
他教我
stretching.
几个动作，
So she taught me a few
我每天回去这样子做，
exercise.
我就把这个气节打开了。
And I do it every night, and then I opened up the knots,
那就腰就不痛了。
and then the back
以
pain
前我那
disappeared.
family doctor 啊，Doctor Gao 跟我讲，
And my family
他
doctor,
说
Dr.
你
Gore
腰
said,
痛，回
you
去
have a
做，
back pain, just
做
do
到实
this
在痛得不
exercise
行了，
until it's so
我
painful
再
you
帮
cannot
你
bear
想
it
办法
anymore.
打类固醇，
Then I can
打针
inject
啊，
some
打那个
steroid
痛的地方打类固醇，
on the
打类固
painful
醇都没有
area.
办法阻止你的痛，
And
那
then
你就是要开刀。
if the steroid injection still
把
doesn't
那
help,
个好
then
像
you
是
have
说
to have a surgery.
肩椎盘突出的骨头，给它 用这个好像说用铁板把它压回去，然后把它锁
to
紧，
push back
让它
the
不要触动到这
bone
个痛的神经。
spurs
打
so
类固
that
醇
it
就是等于
doesn't
是
it
断
doesn't
绝了
press on the
那
nerves.
个痛的神经跟你的这个骨头的关系。
And the same thing with the steroid injection is
但
to
是我按照临床上是这样子做，从 10月
numb
做
this
到现
nerve.
在快半年了
But
吧。
I have been doing this exercise according to Master
哎，我去
Lian
看
for
我的
about
方面大德
6
说，
months
你
now.
现在腰还痛吗？
And then
我说
when
不
I
痛。
went to see my family doctor, he asked, so do
他
you
觉
still
得
have
很
back
奇怪，
pain? I
你是
said
怎么
no.
做的？
And
一
he
般人
found
到
it
了这个时候
strange.
都差不多痛的是
How,
已经要
what
打
did you
类固
do?
醇了，要开
Most
刀了。
people at this
你
time,
怎
they
么会
would
不痛呢？
need steroid injection or surgery, but how about
连专很
you?
厉害，你们
You're
如果有
free
什
of
么病
pain
的话，
already?
找他。
So Master Lian Chuan was incredible. If you have any ailments, you can go
他
find
懂得很多
and
哎，
ask
他
her.
懂得不少东西耶。
She
他扳
understands
机
a
手
lot of
他也懂，
things. She also knows about the
这扳机手是那个
what's it called?
那个教我
Tendinitis.
Olivia 这个医生，
Tendinitis.
加拿大的医生 Olivia， 他教要做反
And
关节，
Dr. Olivia from
反关节
Vancouver
这
also
个就是说，
taught me
你手指不
that
能
you need to stretch
握下
backward.
来，你必须要反。
When you cannot form
那
a
一按就会
fist,
很
then
痛，
you should
一般来讲都会很痛。
stretch
但是你
backward.
常常这样子，这样子
Then
扳手，
it would feel hurt
到
at
最后，
first, but
你
if
这
you
个
do it often,
你这个扳机手就会好。
then the tendinitis
也
will
是的
disappear.
所以有时候这个打电脑的人呢，看到扳机手，就是要这样子，
So many
要
people that
相反的
work
方向去动，拉本是
on
拉
the
筋的。
computer would have this problem. So this is like stretching.
然后终于啊，这个腰痛以前还是很厉害的。
I had a severe back pain
现在
before,
每天练瑜伽，
but now
但每
after
天做，
doing
我这个
yoga
人就是有
every
恒
day, see, I have the perseverance.
笨得很，
I have
就是恒
nothing
心
else.
自有，恒
I'm
心毅
really
力有，
dumb, but I have
恒心
that
毅力有，你就
uh,
可以把自己的病
willpower and self-discipline.
否则一般来
And
讲哦，
with
肩椎盘
that,
突
I
出，
can
年
alleviate
轻
my own
人肩椎
problem.
盘突出，他可以再挤回去。
When you're young and you
年
have
轻
bone
啊，因为是年
spur,
轻，他可以挤
you
回
can
去。
still push it back.
但是年纪大的人呐，肩椎盘突出啊，他是挤不回去。
But for older
老了真的
people,
是没用哎，
it's
真的
not
老了就
possible
没用了，老了什么都
to
不
push
行。
it back. So
像我
that's
们也
why
是很
when
怕
you're
得到那个
old,
COVID-19 的，
it's really useless.
得到 COVID-19 的时
So
候啊，
we are
那
afraid to
个
get
联旺恐吓我
COVID-19.
们，联旺
Lian
上司恐吓我
Wang
们，
threatened us
他说你不知道，你得到那个 COVID-19 了，很惨的。我说哪里？
He said, getting
不是会好吗？对
COVID-19
不对？
is
一个礼拜
really
以后他就自己
horrific.
会好。他说
How
后遗
horrific,
症啊！
because you get
我说什么后
better
遗
in
症？
about a week or
我哪里会
so.
怕什么后
So,
遗症？我说
he
有
said
啊，
there's an
连望他
aftermath,
看了
there's
资
an
料，他讲
effect,
说
side effect.
真的是会
And he
Microsoft。
read it somewhere that you would
什么
become
是
Microsoft.
我翻成国语就是微软，微软呢，而且
You
连望
become
上司恐吓
Microsoft.
我们，他说不只会微软，
And Master
会
Liang
缩
Wang
小5
threatened
公分。
nice. And it would shrink 5 centimeter.
他讲说得到 COVID-19，
After
那个
you
副作
get
用，它会变成
COVID-19,
Microsoft， 而且会
then it
缩
would
小
become
5公分。
Microsoft and shrink by 5 centimeters.
那得了3次
Oh
了，
my
如果是
God.
重新再感染3次都没有了。
And then if you got it 3 times, it will be gone.
我被他笑死了。
We laughed so hard.
连万上师啊，是不是会缩小5公分啊？
Didn't you say that it would shrink by 5 centimeter?
啊？他真的讲了，
That's
真的
what
讲
he
说会
said.
缩小5公分呢。你说5
It
公分
will
有
shrink 5
多大？
centimeters.
天
That's a
哪，5
lot.
公分，
5 centimeters.
5公分差不多这样哎。
But this
你
is
知道吗？
long.
那
Do you
连
know?
续感染3次就没有。
And then if you get it 3 times, it'll be gone.
真的 COVID-19 太可怕了。
So COVID-19
大家不要
is
去
so
得到它。
scary. Please don't get it.
那我们讲维摩诘经。
Now we will talk about the Vimalakirti Sutra.
我们讲一个笑话吧。你知道
Let me
为
share
什
a
么
joke first.
猩猩的手指比人类粗吗？
Do you know why the
答案
fingers
是
of
看
the
他们的鼻孔就知道了。
gorillas are bigger
这
than
好
human
怪的
beings?
一个笑话，就是猩猩
You would know
必须要
by
用
looking
粗
at
的
their
手指头才
nostrils.
能够挖它的那么大的鼻孔。
It's a weird joke.
有一个医生啊，问他的病患，
A doctor
是头
asks
扎起来
his patient
啊，这扎了纱布
with
绑在
the
头上。
bandage around his head.
医生就问了，
And the doctor asks,
你到底平时是做什么危险的运动吗？
do you
怎
do
么你
any
头不会受
dangerous
伤呢？头
sport
不会受伤呢？
that your head is
这病患回
injured
答，
so badly?
跟
And
老
the
婆
patient
大
replied,
小声。
because shouting at my wife.
哎，这里有一个笑话，我记得吧，
I remember there's a
也是
joke
跟这个
here
跟这个有关的。
that's quite similar to this.
怎么不见呢？哦，对
How
了，
come it's gone?
甲跟乙问答，甲问乙，听说你老婆的外号叫做
A
KTV，
asks B, so I heard
是
that
因为她
your
喜欢
wife's
唱歌
nickname
吗？
is KTV. Is it because she
这
loves
个
to
乙
sing?
回答，
And B
不是
replied,
的，
no, no.
她时不时就 K 我一顿，
Because
然后用脚
at
踢
any
我，
time
一个是 K，
she
一个
would
是 T， 踢我，
K
最
me,
后呢
kick
做一
me,
个
and
胜
then
利的姿势。
and jump. This is play of
所以他
words
的
too.
老婆外号叫
And
做
jump me.
KTV。
So that's why
KTV 是时不时就 K 他的头，
her nickname
然
is
后击
KTV.
他，然后最后终于比一个胜利的姿势。
And then she would form
所以
this
他的老婆外号叫
gesture.
KTV。 好，我们讲维摩诘经。
Now
今
we
天
will
讲的这个字
talk about Vimalakirti Sutra.
这是属于傣谱的那个傣吧？是念作
This
傣吗？
character
傣
is pronounced as
傣无所得，不
Dai,
起法忍。我们讲这一句话啊，
and they reach
傣
a state of
无所得，不起
unattainability
法忍。这法忍这两个
unborn
字要解
endurance.
释，也就是我们常常讲的无生法忍。
I need to explain this unborn endurance.
无生法忍的意思就是讲
The meaning of unborn
无生法忍
endurance.
它本身要解释这个无生法忍。无生法忍，我们常常听到佛教的名
We
词
need to explain
都
this.
知道
We often
法忍、无生法忍。
hear about this Buddhist term, unborn endurance, and what it means is
已
that
经明白
this person has the wisdom to understand that everything, or all dharma, which means
不生不
everything,
灭的，
is unborn
所有
and
一切的法是不生不灭的。
unceasing, so
就是无生无
non-arising
灭。
and non-ceasing.
当你
So
深入
they are
了解
non-arising and
一切
non-ceasing.
法不生不灭，
When you
无生无
completely
灭的时候，
comprehend that everything
就会
is
证得无
non-arising
生法
and non-ceasing, then you
那个
would
果位叫无
attain
生法忍。
this fruition called unborn
知
endurance.
道了不生不灭，
When you
知道了无
understand
生无灭，
non-arising and non-ceasing,
你就到了菩萨的第八地。
then you would reach the
叫做
eighth
不动
ground
地
of
不动地。
Bodhisattvahood, which is called the immovable
这个
ground.
讲起来很简单哦，
It seems simple
做起
to
来就很难。
talk about, but it's very
你
difficult
必须
to
要去
do.
实践，你明白这个道
You
理。
need to implement it after you understand the
不生不灭。
concept that everything is non-arising
这
and
是一种智慧。
non-ceasing.
你明白
This
这
is a
种智
kind of
慧以
wisdom.
后啊，
And
你能
once you
够实
comprehend
践
this wisdom and you can
你的
implement it,
一切你就到了不动地。不
then
动
you
地
would have reached the immovable ground.
这是很难做得到。
It
但
is
是
very
你如果
difficult to
懂得这个
do.
道理，
However,
你
if you
慢慢去
understand the
学习去
concept
实践，
and you
就
train
会无
yourself
生
to
法忍。
implement it,
什么叫做
then
无
you
生
would
法
be in
忍？
the state of unborn endurance. What is unborn
比如
endurance?
有人骂了一句话，
For example, if
你
someone
看现在
scold you
我看台湾的这个
just once,
台湾的电视，
when I watch
常常因为
Taiwan
说
televisions,
有一个人开车超越了
sometimes someone
超越
drive,
了另外一部车，
someone drove
后面那一
and
部车啊，一
uh,
看到他
went
超越，
over the other car,
心理上很火，
and
就开
immediately
始尬车，
the car that was
什么叫
passed
尬车呢？
by
就追
became angry
追他，
and
他跑得
tilted
快，他也跑跟他跑得
and
快，
tilted
就
him.
是一定要超过他，他也
And
跟他一定要
they
超
all
过他。
drove very
两个
fast
人
and they had to
在高速公路
drove
上啊，或者
over
在
him,
路上啊，
like
就是这样
on
子
the
哇，很危险，
highways
那
or
是危
on
险
the
的
roads.
就
They
尬
would,
车，那个叫做尬车，就是说
what's
因
that
为他
called?
超过了他，他心里不舒
Very
服，
dangerous
马上他也
because
追他的
there's
车，
another
然后
car
两个人互
that's
相尬车，
passing by him. Then he
尬
fell
到最后
upset
两个
and
人
then
火气
he
都很大了，
he did that the same way, and they became enraged, and then they stopped by the roadside and get into a fight.
也赶快用他的手机去呼唤他的一些朋友来，那一边也呼唤了一些朋友来。
And then they called their friends, and the friends came, and they got into a huge fight and injured many people. So this kind of things is happening now. So they don't know about this unborn endurance. If someone just scold you, even just one phrase, and you felt hurt and upset, and when you got home, then you don't eat, you don't drink, you cannot eat, you cannot sleep, you cannot drink, and then you feel sickly. It's too hurtful. Oh, this statement is too hurtful. This is because they don't understand this unborn endurance. Not only about this speeding around, but even if you just gaze at someone and you're eating together and someone is looking at you, and then you turn around and that person is still looking at you and still looking at you, and you say, what are you looking at? Anything to look at? And then that person say, can I look at you? And then they jump out of their seats. And then the people at the two tables all stood up. And then they got into a riot inside the restaurant just because of that. And they didn't even know each other. So this kind of things happen. And one thing often happen in Taiwan. It's very easy to make a girlfriend, but it's very difficult to break up. Breaking up is an art. It's very difficult. And when the girl said, let's break up, and the man, let's talk about it, and then he would kill her. And when he killed her, by chopping her, he kept saying, I love you, I love you. This kind of things happen. It's totally irrational. As he hacked the girlfriend, he would yell, I love you. They are so irrational nowadays. When we were in the military, we often saw gravities that said, we are in the military, but the flowers at home, and we're thinking about the home. And then the next writing is, there are so many flowers out there, why you are just fixed on one flower? That's true. There are so many flowers around. Why are you clinging to only one flower? You need to understand all these principles, this common sense. And because people don't understand, don't have common sense, they get into conflicts and between people, between cars, or because of cars, and got into lots of troubles. They cannot be in unborn
懂得无生
endurance.
法忍的道理，它是不
But
动地。
if you
人家
can
给你超车，
understand the
你也太
concept of
尿急，
unborn endurance,
所以要超
then
你
you're
的
in
车，
at the immovable ground.
尿急
If someone
要
passed
赶快
by
回去
you, then
放
you
尿
just think that, oh, they probably
他肚子
had to go to the bathroom,
他要怎么样？我们
had
是
to pee or to
好像
poop,
我们开车就是按
or
照
had the
规矩
diarrhea.
开车，
So we just
人家
follow
超
the
你的
rule
车
and
也是这
drive.
样子，
Even
也
if
不会
somebody
动念
passed by
也都
you,
可以。
you don't
所以什么事情
feel
你都是在不动地上面。
enraged
我
or
只
you
简
don't get angry.
讲这个简
It's
单的例
fine.
子给大家听，什么叫做无生法忍？
So this is a simple
他心不
example
会太动的，
what
不
is
会太
called
动，
unborn
他是讲
endurance.
道理
So their heart or
有理。
mind is unmoved.
啊。
They are very
这
rational,
个无生法忍，本
have
来
common
这个
sense.
东西不生，也是不灭的。
So unborn endurance, these things are non-arising and non-ceasing.
但无所得什么意思？无所得这一句才厉害。
Unattainable. This
因为无
word
所得，
unattainable is
所以你才
incredible.
能够无生法忍。
And
这整句的意
because
思，
everything is unattainable, that's why you can be
因
in a
为无
state
所
of
得，
unborn
所以你才能
endurance.
够无生法忍。
Because of
很简单
unattainability,
哦，
you can
但是
be
道理是很
in a
简
state
单。
of unborn endurance. It's a very simple
整句
concept.
的意思就因为无所得，所以你才能够
This
无
is the
生法
meaning
忍。
of this phrase. Because of unattainability, you can be in a state of unborn endurance.
稍微想一想看，《心经》里面就是这一句。
Ponder upon it. This
既
is
无所
in the
得
Heart
故，
Sutra.
菩提萨埵，你就变成菩萨。
Because there is
因
nothing
为
to
你
gain,
明白
you
无
are
所
a
得的道理，
bodhisattva.
所以你就变成菩萨。
Because you comprehend the concept of
因为
unattainability,
这世界
therefore
上
you
没有一样
become a
东西你能够
bodhisattva.
得到的，叫做无
Because
所得。
in this world, there is
包括
nothing
你的
that
身体，
you
我
can
讲过了，包
attain,
括你的身体
including
也
your
你也
body.
得
I
不
have
到。
said it before. You cannot even attain your own body.
你以为你自己
You
哇，
cannot
非
grasp
常漂亮，
it. You think you're extremely
我已
beautiful.
经得到了最漂亮的，我得到了选美第一名。
I'm
他不知道，
I
再
won
过
the
20
first
年，
prize in the beauty
他
contest.
就变成老姑婆。
And she didn't know that in 20 years
再
she would
过
become an
20，
old
再过
lady.
40年，
And 40
突
years
然就更
later,
吓人。
she would
半夜出
scare
来，人家会
people
喊说见到
in the
鬼。
middle of the night, and they would
很
they
简
would
单
cry
啊，
out
人
ghost.
会老啊，
Very
会死
simple.
啊。
People age and will
你
die.
也不要说，因为这个人名气很大，
And don't
你就嫉
say
妒他。
because someone is
名气
famous,
大有什
you're
么用？
jealous of him. What use is fame?
总有一天他会没有，什么都没有了，
One
也是
day
无所得啊。
They would
你
have
以无
nothing.
所得来
That's
应一切，
unattainability.
你
So
心
if
就能够不
you
动。
utilize unattainability, if you apply unattainability to everything,
我讲
then
嘛，
your
财
heart
嘛，
mind would become
钱啊，
unmoved, unperturbed.
有人讲说，
I've
我
talked
就
about
是爱钱。
money. Some
谁
people
没有
say,
错
I
啊？
love
钱大
money.
家都爱，
Of course, everybody
没
loves
有一个人
money.
不爱钱的啦，大家都爱钱。
There is no exception. Everybody loves
就
money.
是爱钱也要有分寸呐。
But even if you
那你
love
不能嫉
money,
妒有钱人，
you still have to be
你不能说
within
看
the
到有
limit.
钱人就我就很讨厌他。
You
看到
cannot be
有名的
jealous
人，
of
我就
the
很
rich
讨厌。
man. You despise rich people or you despise famous people.
有钱人有时候出门也要很小心，
It's even
真的，人家目
a
标就是
rich
你，
man has to be
你
careful
太
when
有
they
名了，
go
目标
out
也是你啊。
because your target If you're very famous, you're also a target.
你太漂亮了，
Or
目
you're
标
too
也是你
beautiful,
啊。
you're also a target.
所以漂亮也是双面的刀啊。
So beauty is
双面的
also a
刀。
two-edged sword.
一方面人家很喜欢你，另一方面
On
你也很容
one
易被人家所伤
aspect,
害。
people love you, like
地
you,
位也
or
是
on
一
the
样
other
啊，因为
aspect,
地
you
位
can
高，我
be
们看到那个
harmed
安倍的
easily.
事情，
The same
他地位
thing
高。
with position, like the ex-Prime Minister Abe.
地
He
位
had
高
a high
就是很
position,
危险，
and that's dangerous.
地位高本身就是很危险，你地位太高，
So
因为
if
一
you
定
have a
会有
high
人讨厌
position,
你，你不知道那个
that's
讨厌的人
dangerous.
是谁，但是他已经在
There
讨
must
厌
be
你，
some people who despise you. So you don't know who, but they are.
因为你地位太高，就自然有人会讨厌你。
Because you hold a high position, so
所以
there
当
must be
当这
someone
些
who
很高官、
dislike
很高
you
的
or
官，
loathe you.
都是危险，都非常危
So
险。
people in high positions are all in danger.
有势力、有钱，
So if you
有名，
have power,
都是危险。
money, or fame, all of those are dangerous.
所以按照我们所说的，我们所讲的，
So according to what we
你要真
say,
正懂得逮无所得，
you need to understand this
地位也不是永远。
unattainability.
你到那个
Even
老人院了，
position
到
is
那个
not
老人院
forever.
那
You
个老
go
人
to
院
the
或养老
elderly
院、
home,
安养院，
to the senior home.
里面很多的专家，也有科学
There
家。
are many
也有
experts in
名
there. There are scientists,
一进去，
medical
那个
famous
老人过
doctors,
去他是心脏科的权威，
and
那个
an
老人
elderly
过
was
去啊，
the
不得了，
pioneer
是一个
in
是一个发
cardiology.
明家。
Another
那个
elderly
老
is
人
an
不得了
inventor,
啊，他
and
当过
another
什么
elderly
什么部长，
was like
他当过
a minister or
最后所
high
中都
official.
是无所得。
However, at the very end, everything is unattainable.
一切法不生不灭，
All dharma or
明白
everything
这个道理，
is non-arising and
像我们
non-ceasing.
身体都不是我们，
Comprehend this principle.
将来
Our bodies
财
too are not
色
ours,
名
and in the future,
都不是你，
wealth,
没有
looks,
一样东西你能够
name
拿
are
得
not
到。
yours. You cannot attain
明白
anything,
了，逮无
cannot
逮
obtain
无所
anything.
得，
So
就是
if you
心经里面的道。
comprehend unattainability, this
你
is the
常常这样子
principle in
脑
the
筋
Heart
去想，
Sutra.
无所得，
Always
无所得，
ponder on this.
无所得，
Always be mindful.
你就不会去
Unattainable,
强取
unattainable,
豪夺。
unattainable. Then you would not fight and seize and grasp.
就不会去强取豪夺。有钱有什么用？
Then
这
it
一
doesn't
生
matter if
不
you
缺
have
钱就
money
可以
or
了，
not. As long as you don't lack anything,
不
that's
缺
good enough.
钱用就已经很好了。
That's good enough.
所以我常常讲啊，真的，钱
That's why I
所有的
often
人都
say,
爱，但是你只要不缺钱就可以了。你能够赚到不缺钱花，你要花钱的时候有钱可以花就可以了啦。
as long as you don't lack money,
要
and
知
if
足
you
啊，
need it, you
要
have
知足
money
啊。
to spend, that's good enough. You should be you
你
should
也
be
不一定
content.
要长得非常美或怎么样子，因为那
And
个
you don't have to
也
be
不是永
extremely
远都是你的，
gorgeous, because
我
even
讲
that
啊，
is not yours
身体都
forever.
不是你的，到老了都很可怕。
I have said it,
老了
even
就
your
很可怕。
bodies are not yours. When you're
那些
old,
那个
it's
活到
quite scary.
100有活到140
Those
岁，
people who live to be
但是坐
140,
在轮椅上啊，
but
出
in
来
a
的时候看他的脸，
wheelchair
天哪，
And when I saw the face, oh my God, they look like a ghost, very close to be a ghost. When she was young, she's beautiful. The photos when they were young was really beautiful, but when they were old, really. So looks are not yours. Wealth is not yours. And power and status, position are not yours. So none of this are yours. So if you can understand this state of unattainability, and then this is how you view everybody, and then this is how you view yourself, then in that way, then you're in a state of unborn endurance. So what kind of anger would you have? Nothing. Because nobody attained anything anyway. It's only for you temporarily. That's possible. But at the very end, it's nothing. There is no arising and no ceasing, no birth and no death. When you can truly be like that, that's the state of unborn endurance. And then there would be the immovable ground, the eighth ground of bodhisattva. At such state, you only do two things. You enhance your good and to stop your bad. You stop any bad from arising. And that's complete upholding. So you comprehend the unsustainability, and you need to comprehend the unattainability, the concept of unattainability, then you can reach the state of unborn endurance. What use is money? Perhaps if you have money, you would have nicer tomb, better cemetery, maybe bigger space, that's it. What use being an emperor? The ancient China, Tang Yi Xia Sang Zong Qiang people. This is all the dynasties. Tang, Song, Yan, Ming, Qing. Until now, the People's Republic of China. How many emperors had there been? Can you count them all? An emperor is the biggest within the kingdom. Number one, but how many of them do you remember? Let me ask you, how many? If I'm telling you an emperor, you have to check on the cell phone which dynasty it is from. Sui Yang-di, the one that opened the transport channel, and Qin Shi Huang, who unified the 6 kingdoms. And Han Wu-di. Han Jing-di. Tang Tai-zong吧，李世民吧，李世民嘛，唐朝有几个这个太平盛世的，
另外的战乱的还非常多啊。
And
当皇帝
there
的人
are a few
现在
good
呢，你
emperors
记不
and
记
there are
几个
many bad emperors
几
too.
个这个皇帝的名字啊？那个名
You
都
don't
忘
even
了，
remember
通
the
通都忘了。
names of the emperors. You have
人家
forgotten
讲，
them all.
人家问我说：“哎，你卢世尊是在周朝当什么皇帝？”
And someone asked
我
me,
讲起
which
来，
emperor were you
你
in the
也
Zhou
要查这
dynasty?
个
If
查
I'm
手
telling
机
you,
啊，
you
你也
still
听这
have to
皇帝
check the
周朝的
internet.
皇帝有，周
How
朝共
many
有800 年，
emperors? The Zhou
有800年的
dynasty
历史。
lasted 800 years. The Zhou
周
dynasty.
朝有800年，那时候是文王啊，
The
周
King
文王
Wen
这
of
个
Zhou dynasty.
周文王拖车，文龙，我们讲文王拖车啊，姜子牙坐在车子上，
driving
然
the
后文王
chariot.
要请他当国师，
And
请
Jiang Ziya
姜
was
子牙
on
当
the
国师。
chariot. And
他说我
the
坐车
emperor
上你来
asked
坐，
Jiang Ziya
这
to
个
become the national teacher.
文王拖车啊，周文王
So
啊，
the
他拖他的
king
车
was
拖
carrying
拖
the
车，那文王
chariot
当皇帝的都是
that was
有气
occupied
无力的啦，因为晚上
by
消
Jiang
耗太
Ziya.
多了，
But the king
都
was
没有力
always
量了，
weak because they
他才走
spent
了
their
800
energy
步。
all night.
姜子牙在车上
So
讲，
he just
好啦，
walked 800
那就没力
steps
的，走了800步就
and
没力
he
了，
had
走
no more
800步就走
energy,
不下去了，
could
他
not
就说不
continue.
行了，我不行了，啊不行了，他停
Oh
下来，
no.
姜
And
子
then
牙
he
在车
stopped.
上
And
跟
then
周文
Jiang
王讲，
Ziya on top of the
你
chariot
周朝
told
就
the
只能够
king
有800年，
that your
那
Zhou
那我再拖，
dynasty only lasted 800 years. And then he
我
said,
再
oh,
拖，
okay, let me
没了，
continue.
就只有
No
拖
more
一次了。
chance, just once,
我们称为
one
文龙
opportunity.
拖车，文王拖
So the
车。
anecdote was called the King Wen
姜子牙很厉害的，
carrying
他
the
是元始
chariot.
天尊的弟子，
Jiang Ziya was incredible, a disciple of 元始天尊.
道教里面的三清，
The three
就是
purity
太
in
上老
the
君啊，灵宝天尊啊，元始
Taoism.
天尊啊，姜子牙是元始天尊的弟子啊，
And 元始天尊 is one
所
of
以
them.
他的那个
And Jiang Ziya
能
was
够
his
神算
disciple.
周朝800年，就叫文王拖
So
车，
that's why he
走
could
800年，
do
就是
the
800年，都
divination.
是有定数的啦。
And
我在周
because
朝啊，
the king of
也当过
Wen
皇帝的。
only carried the chair for
在周
800
朝的
steps,
时候
so
当过
that's
皇
why
帝，
the
我这个
Zhou
皇帝没
dynasty
有没
lasted
名字。
800 years. And I was an emperor during the Zhou dynasty too, but
周
my
公，
name was not known at all.
你就会梦见周公。
Oh, you're like the dream, the Zhou.
哎，周公很有名的，周公在，他也是我们每一次都要念到的了。
So we
拜
always
请八卦
talk
祖
about
师
the 周
伏
公，
羲、文王、周公、孔子、
who see 文王、周
云梦
公、
山鬼谷先生。
孔子、沂蒙山鬼谷先生. All this have to be
我
invoked
们
when we
每次要
perform
排卦都要
divination.
念的。拜请
When we
伏
want
羲、
to perform the
文王、
divinations with the
周
trigrams.
公、孔子。
So
周公还是很有
pray
名的，我没有那么有名。
to 周公 too. But 周公 is very
无
famous,
所
but
得
I
嘛，对不
wasn't.
对？你当皇帝有什
So
么用？
that's why it's
无所
unattainable.
得啊！
So even when you were an emperor, what use is that? It's unattainable.
所以现在很多当大官的，我看了，当这个好像说总统的，当总理的，当这个我看了也不过是一时啦。
So now the
这
high
有钱人，
officials,
以前我
the
们台湾最有钱的，
presidents, and those are
对不对？
only temporarily.
就是那个
Like for the wealthy
王永
man
庆啊，
to
我
in
们那个时代是
Taiwan
王永庆啊。
during
那时候
our
歌台铭还没有出生
generation,
呢，
Wang Yongqing. At that time, 歌台铭
到最后
wasn't
台湾
born
变成
yet.
歌台铭呢，最有钱。
And then
歌台
afterwards,
铭
it
其实也
was
当
歌
不
台
久了，
铭,
他
was
也
the
老了嘛，
richest.
对不对？他也
And
当不
wouldn't
久，
last
他
very
当
long.
台湾
He's
这个
old
最有
too.
钱的也当不久。你说简单讲，以前王永庆最有钱了，我们以前都讲，
So,
我们那个时代就
an
讲
simple
洪恩俭
example. Wang Yongqing was the richest one in our generation. And now it's Ge Taiming, the richest one. And then next would be Zhang Zhongmo. Maybe that would be next. And Zhang Zhongmo is already old too. And maybe there would be a young, high-tech guy that would become the richest one. And the earlier ones would be down. Nobody is the richest forever. So not to mention the looks. You were beautiful when you were young, but when you're old. And Master Lian Wang also threatened us. Only with 3 infections of COVID-19, that thing is gone. What else are you talking about? About the real man and the great man, no more. That's all about this phrase. Now do you understand this phrase? So, by comprehending unattainability, they attain the state of unborn endurance. You view everyone, including yourself, as non-arising and non-ceasing. They are not born and they don't die, including all material things. Nothing is yours, not the cars, the houses, the real estate properties, the lands, the money are not yours. Nothing is yours. That's unattainability. Everything will break. Cars, houses, everything will break eventually. Things that you wear, that's all for a moment, all momentary. One day when you're old and become very skinny, you cannot wear anything because even if you wear them, they don't look good. So comprehend the unattainability. At that state, your heart mind is unmoved. Then you don't have any more endurance. That's unborn endurance. And you attain the immovable ground. That's the 8th ground of Bodhisattvahood. And from then on, it is non-regressing. That's why the Vimalakirti Sutra states, in the Vimalakirti Sutra, it's written that the great Bodhisattvas comprehend unattainability and they all have attained the state of unborn endurance. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.
非常感谢法王圣尊。